Alright, these are some of the rabbits that we bought at the auction. We wanted to get some good meat rabbits. I did eventually get some meat rabbits at the second auction. But this doe was kind of unique, and we thought we'd try our luck with her. And she's a good sized doe, so with the buck that we've got, that she should start having some nice looking bunnies and larger meat rabbits is what we're going for, because we're going to start eating. Now she had a litter, and she had 6, but only 5 survived. These are the babies. As you can see, they're all a bunch of mixed breeds, but they're good size, so we may end up having a few for selling and a few for eating. We plan on selling some for meat rabbits for other people to take and use. We're not going to butcher them, but she had a lot of pretty ones. There's some red and white ones and some black and white ones. And
they're how
brown
old?
ones.
What are they? A day?
These are probably 3 days old. And they're starting to get their color, starting to get a little fuzz
Put one
now.
in your hand so you can see how big they are.
Well,
We try not to handle them unless we.
Well, Mama doesn't. She doesn't seem to bother. They're nice and fat, as you can see. Well, don't move, baby. Don't want to lose you. They're all jumping out because they think Mama's in there to feed them. So I want to get them all stirred up.
Tell them the story about what happens if you see an empty nest. Because
As an empty nest, as in.
like, cause we just had a friend. Ooh, look how cute they are.
Yeah, they're very
They're
cute.
sitting up. Their little heads are up.
Yeah. Well, they're looking
They're
for Mama.
active.
Yeah, they're looking for Mama to feed them. So
But,
we'll leave them alone so Mama can feed them. Now we had 6, but the runt didn't make it. We tried to save it, but it just didn't work.
We put them on the mother.
And the mother, he just didn't have enough strength to nurse, so
And he couldn't even open his
he
mouth.
wouldn't even open his mouth. So it's just one of those casualties you have in breeding rabbits and things. But these should be in good shape.
The runt was like half the size.
Oh, he was
really
less
fast.
than half the size, so he may not have developed the way he should have. And within a few weeks, these guys should be running around, and we'll do a video and show you how fast they grow. Right now, like I said, they're about 3 days old.
Well, what day were they born? They were born.
They were born the
Thursday.
30th.
Thursday, and then which was and today's
The 30th,
Saturday.
yes.
So, and she's the mama. She's usually pretty good, but she's back
Well,
there.
like the other video we showed, we bought a bunch of the Californias, which are a little larger, and the buck, we'll breed her with the buck the next time, and we'll see how these are doing. If these are just medium-sized rabbits when we're done, then we'll probably just sell these for pets, because I'm not going to mess around with trying to butcher small rabbits. But she's taking care of these guys really great. They all got fat little bellies, and she seems to be a good mother. Now, the reason that she was put in an auction, one thing you might want to think about is that usually when you breed a doe for the very first time, and it isn't always, but in most cases, she will not take care of her first litter of bunnies. She either doesn't know how, or doesn't know how to make a decent nest to keep them warm, or how to nurse, but they will usually lose their first batch of bunnies, but not always, in most cases. So whoever had this rabbit, which is a nice sized rabbit, probably tried to breed her, and she lost her first litter, and they just gave up on her, thinking, well, if she doesn't know how to take care of her bunnies, she's never going to, so they got rid of her. I looked into the potential that she was a larger rabbit, and hoping that she already had a litter, which now that she's had this litter, it shows me that she probably did lose her last litter, and whoever had her got rid of her. That's a thing to look for when you're breeding rabbits, is don't count on first breed to be successful. Usually your second and after are very successful. So if this is her first litter, she's done a good job if all she lost was the runt. If it's her second litter, she's still doing a great job, because she's got 5 little fat bunnies that are 3 days old, and they're the size of a week-old bunny. So she's taking care of them really well. And hopefully that helps you. If you get a bunny that's in the nest that's thinner than the other bunnies, the other bunnies are nice and fat. This one's not getting to the to the mother for her to feed, you can always sit down, lay the mother on your lap. You need some assistance.
Yeah, I was gonna say 2 people's better for the new guy.
Hold the legs of the rabbit so she isn't kicking, and then try to take the runt and put it on the nipple so that it can get some milk. And you may have to do this a couple of times till he gets where he's strong enough to fend off the rest of his mates so that he can nurse normally like the rest of them. If you touch the bunnies, always run your hand over the mother's face so that when she smells your scent on the bunnies, she doesn't kick the nest all around and not feed her bunnies anymore. If she smells your scent on her, she doesn't notice it on the bunnies, and she'll take care of her bunnies and continue to take care of her bunnies. So if you ever have to touch her bunnies, make sure you rub your hand over her nose so that she picks your scent and doesn't think that you were just disturbing her bunnies. Okay?
Also, Clay, too, like, say someone like me, if I came in and I couldn't, meaning because I'm a woman, and not that that would matter, but saying I couldn't get I was alone and it happened and my husband was at work, I could take that runt and put it on top of the litter if I couldn't attach it.
If you fed them a couple of times, it should be okay. It's the first few feedings. You want to make sure that they all have nice little fat bellies that you know they got some milk.
I mean, I put on top of the litter too. My husband got home.
We didn't get a chance.
If I can't get around the boob, maybe the rabbit won't let me or something. And it's still doing pretty good. Put it on top because sometimes, am I correct on that or not?
Yeah, put it on the top of the nest so the other one should, if she gets in there, it has a chance. But normally, after the first or second feeding, they have enough energy to get up there where they have to feed.
Okay.
So it's usually within the first day or two, but always make sure that you run your hand over the mother's face so she's got your scent, and that you don't just touch the babies and not touch her, because she's going to smell your scent on the babies and may not want anything to do with the babies after that if all she smells is human scent on them. But if you run your hand over her, she'll smell the human scent on herself, so she won't even pay attention to being on the babies.
Yeah, I said that because if I couldn't get the mother to stop kicking, you could, if you say you're a woman alone, I say that because if you're a woman alone, the mama won't stop kicking and you can't feed the baby without the baby getting hurt, and because you're all by yourself, and the baby's in pretty good shape, you could try putting it on the top.
Yeah, you could find somebody.
But
there's always somebody that can help you out.
But get somebody to help is first choice always.
Try 2 people to try to.
Yeah, always try to get 2 people.
But it's usually just after they have bunnies. Is the only time that you'll ever have that. And this is the first occasion I've ever had, and I've raised rabbits, chickens, and things for 40 years. This is the first one that the runt has ever been, kicked away from the nest. They do it. The mothers know instantly that if they can take care of 6 bunnies or 8 bunnies or 3 bunnies, they will kick the excess out of the nest if they know they can't take care of it.
Is that what she did?
She may have, being the runt, he may have been just because I found him in the back side of this.
Yeah, because when we first found him, Clay found him in the back.
The runt was kicked out of the nest. The other ones were being fed and taken care of. I put the runt back in, put him on the top, in hopes the next time she fed that, because he was just a little bit smaller than the other 5, and apparently he wasn't strong enough. And they also, rabbits and dogs and cats, they all know. If they know there's something genetically wrong with the baby, they just won't deal with it. So you can try your best to try to do it, but if like in our case, the baby didn't make it.
Oh, there's a little bird flew by.
In our case, the baby didn't make it. I mean, don't feel bad. It happens to everybody. Okay? All right. Till the next time. This is Clay.
And Ruthie.
From Popel's Backyard Farms.